Hey everybody, Edo here, and I am extra, super, amazingly excited because this is a special, one-of-a-kind video. JT Smith is on the line from the Game Crafter. Say hello, JT.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And
I'm excited as well.
yeah, this is cool. So you and I were on together chatting about a month ago about all the cool things the Game Crafter is up to. It's a great video. Folks should
Yep.
check it out. Even hints at some new products. But one of the things that we talked about was the Game Crafter Laboratory, which is the service that you offer, yes, where you bring your team of a variety of experts to build anything, right? So
Yep. Yeah.
it's, maybe we'll actually give some good examples to start with what you guys have done, but it's really like you have a problem, we'll help you solve it and build it for you.
Yeah, it's basically the Willy Wonka of the board game world kind of thing. It's if you have an idea and you want to make it real, we do it. So that's kind of the premise of the Game Crafter in general, but this is truly bespoke things. So
Bespoke,
3D
you used the
modeling,
word.
yes. So anything that can be 3D modeled or milled, painting, we can do little miniatures all the way up to, full size miniatures, or not, they wouldn't be miniatures at that point, full size standees, I don't know, that are human sized. And we've done all of that for customers all over the world. So
Yeah.
if you need something for a trade show or you need something for your Kickstarter video, whatever, we make crazy things come to life.
Yeah, and you can go check it out on the GameCrafter website. I can put a link in the description. But when we were talking about it, and either before or after, it's so cool to me. Like, and I've never actually had a need for that. Back in the day when I made my original liftoff prototype, it would have been a useful thing. But in the immediate term, I didn't have any. But we were talking about it, and I was thinking about it, and I realized I had something that could work, and I had these old sketches from Dustin Faust, artists for Skull Hollow, Heroes Welcome, Heroes and Tricks, Mall Peak, all these fantastic artists. He had made these amazing hourglasses because a long time
Yeah,
ago...
the sketches are fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. Our printer, and I'm going to start putting the sketches on screen, but our printer, Watts, wanted to make some like original things to include in games. And like I was chatting with them, and they were asking for some examples. So I paid Dustin to just do these sketches, and I was sort of like, you could do these things, but they're really unique. If one person had in their board game, I don't think like a bunch of people would want it. And anyway, then it got put into a folder that I call Random Concepts or something, and it has never been touched since. But we were talking, and I think you guys are so great, and I wanted to do a video, and we said, well, wouldn't it be cool if we like show the process? And it's
Right.
not a paid promotion, though. You did do this. What's the word? Like you did. I didn't pay for the components you used.
Right. We paid for the manufacturing and
the
everything.
manufacturing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was such a cool process, and like we're gonna show it. I'm pretty happy with the results. But so we have these sketches, right? And so what you do is,
Right.
and I'll show it on screen. You go to the Game Crafter. We go to the laboratory page.
Yep.
And then there's like a simple sign up form, and it's basically like, what do you want to do? And I drop my photo in, and I'm like, I want to make 3 of these, or 1 of these, or whatever. And we ended up making 3. And then like instantly we're in the system. And like soon thereafter, folks are starting to communicate back and forth with the dashboard. But like, so at that handoff point, so like I have the sketches we put on screen. I'm like, I want to make these, and I want them to be awesome. Go.
Yeah.
Then so we handed it. You got. I mean, you knew it was coming, but you got that. You got that in the email or whatever you get. And what happens on your end at that
Right.
point?
Well, first, I'll explain that. But first, I want to say getting concept sketches like that is so rare for us. I love the fact that you had these amazing drawings for us to work from. Because usually the first part of the process is getting out of somebody what it is that they actually want. So you already had that part. We got to skip that step entirely, which was great. And my whole team was excited that we got to skip that part.
But it is good to note that you will start with nothing. I mean, I could have just said, I want to
Yes.
make a really cool hourglass with bat wings, or a really cool
That's right.
hourglass with. Okay, so that, I mean, so there is no require. Like, you are ready to work with anyone with any idea. It can be a sentence.
That's right. I mean, the more the better, and the more the cheaper it will be ultimately for you, because we're going to be billing you for all the hours that we put in going back and forth trying to figure out what it is that you want.
Yeah.
But anyway, so once we're past the concept stage, which you nailed right off the bat.
Thank you, Dustin. Go on.
The next thing that we need to do is to actually figure out how we're going to do this thing, so that we can give you a quote. Now, again, we skipped that because we were paying for this in this particular thing. So we would have to get together and have a little meeting and figure out, okay, we're going to do this part in-house. We're going to outsource to this person that we know, whatever the case may be.
Because
again,
generally, that person, there's the hours used and then the materials, right? So if you're going to use, I don't know if for paint, but like if you're going to like get the structure or get some wood or like whatever you need, that is a material cost that's also paid for. So I mean, you're paying for the services and the materials used.
That's right. Yep, it's time and materials. We start with a $200 down payment, and then after that, it's just $50 an hour plus materials. And so that's the general gist of how it works. The $200 goes toward the whole process. It's just that you have to put an initial down payment. So anyway, we have to figure out how we're gonna make the thing, and then we get quotes from all the people that are involved and send that to you normally, and then you say yes or no. And from that point, once you say yes, that's when the work actually begins. So in this case, the first thing we did was figure out that we were actually going to 3D model this in-house. Normally, for something like this, we would outsource it. We have a whole bunch of people that we work with, but one of our people in-house has been teaching himself how to do organic modeling, and so we actually we did the actual 3D modeling in this case. So that was in-house. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, we'll do the reveal shortly, but actually, looking at the video, so we had them do some video of this process. The results are awesome. Tellem did a great job.
Yeah.
Really thrilled with the process, and also on my end, using the dashboard, I was given. There were many cases along the way where, it was like, hey, we're modeling this bat wing, and we're thinking we're going to do it like this, and is that cool? Does that work? So there was like not approval, but like a review process that was an ongoing communication in the dashboard of like, upload an image, take a look. I showed a few of them to Dustin to see if he had any perspective on it.
Right.
So it definitely felt like a really cool back and forth, even in the middle of that modeling process.
And honestly, if this was a real project, well, not that this isn't a real project, but if you were somebody we didn't know, right? Like you and I had a little bit of a conversation prior to you actually starting this job. So I knew a little bit more about what you wanted than we would normally with a customer. There probably would have been even more of that communication going on. Or I should say there definitely would have been even more of that. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see it all come together. And some of it, it started off, Elliot actually's background is more from 3D modeling is more structural. It's engineering like. So we had to get it to look a little more organic, like putting the holes in the wings, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
the octopus
overall,
ones are stellar. Okay. And so he models it all, and we're cool. Yep. We got the models. And I think it should be said, I guess one of the components you purchased, but like found on the internet were these mid-sized hourglasses. So the actual you sourced the glass and the colored sand, online, which is fine. It does the job. You didn't hand blow the glass and paint the sand.
No.
Which
we actually do have a glass blower here in Madison that we've worked with before. So we could have, but that would have been crazy expensive.
Yeah. Maybe next time if we make it like life size, or human size. But okay. And then so you have the models, and then do you print in house? Do you send out for print? How did you actually then get the base that?
So we've got a number of 3D printers, and we're adding more actually. But for this particular occasion, we used our Formlabs Form 2 3D printer, which is a resin style printer. Uses lasers to harden liquid resin. And the reason we did that is because it creates a superior finish. We don't have to do a lot of sanding work after the model has been created, because the finish is really smooth. It's almost injection molded when it comes out of the printer.
Oh, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the detail on there, you can see all the little all the little details, the striations and the eye socket and everything. It's really good detail that comes off of it. So that's why we use that printer this time.
And then you have it. So that detail comes in. So now you've got the 3D printed objects, and then there's somebody did this amazing paint job.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, it comes out with a little bit of supports and stuff like that. So we have to do a little bit of work on it, break off the supports and do a little bit of sanding. Then then we hand it off to a painter. And in this case, we don't have somebody that in-house that does this level of detail, which people will see in a little bit. This is an incredible level of detail, but there's a whole group of people in Madison that are really fantastic. So we hired one of them to do this, and that's what he does for a living. Like he's a model painter. So he's got an amazing Instagram, which I can show at some point too. But anyway, we did that, and we hired out to get that done. And I worked with him, and I kind of gave him some inspiration based on what you and I had talked about. Telling him, for example, that we're looking for whimsical horror. That was kind of the theme of all of things.
Which is, interestingly enough,
the art.
Oh, for sure. Though it's also interestingly enough, like not part of a line that we normally do, right? Like right. I don't think people would describe Pencil First Games as whimsical horror, but it's certainly fitting to the sample to the graphics, to the original,
to the models.
To the illustration. No, it's great. It was great. And nailed the whimsical, actually. Like nailed the, that Skulk Hollow multi, like scary but cute-ish.
Right. Yeah. And so we talked in great length, actually. I was with him for, I don't know, over an hour talking about the details of like, this thing has to look good upside down, right? Normally a model is only going to be sitting one way, but it has to look good both directions. You're going to be able to see through the glass.
That
we need
to me is
inside of the thing.
And we're about to show it, but and you can see the paint work because I'm going to be playing this over it. But seeing the octopus tentacles or the squid tentacles through the glass is like stellar. Like it is awesome.
Yeah. That level of attention to detail is what it took, though, to make this sort of thing because of the nature of what it is, being the hourglass that it is.
Right.
So,
and again, in terms of the result and expectation, anyway, okay. So, because I'm like, we got to show this stuff because you've seen it, everyone's seen it in process. But essentially at that point, you assemble it with the different pieces, and then you packed it in like styrofoam and bubble wrap and packed it all up nice, and you sent it out over here.
They're
right?
very delicate.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, so there were
we
three
could have made
of
them out of steel or something, but
yeah.
Anyway.
So this, and I'll do some other close-up photos, but just while we're both on screen. So this is the Batwing one, and again, right, to your point, it's got to be something that we can flip over, but like the detail, and again, my camera's actually pretty good, but we'll see how it comes out. But on all of the elements, are awesome, right? And we actually went through this process where we were talking about the different color options for the sand. And so this is, I'm just not going to drop it. So this was the first one with the wings. And then the next one, maybe my favorite, is the squids. And like this thing, the modeling and the art and the paint, but the modeling on the squid is stellar. And I don't know how well this is going to come in, but the fact that you can see the backside of it on the inside is to me like, that's exactly why we designed this with squids initially, was so that you'd be able to see it through the glass. And this one is its own actual challenge because I'm impressed that it's actually, of all three, it's the least stable, but it's still very well balanced. And that had to have been a challenge because these are offset weights, right? So getting that right and getting it so it stands up, is no joke.
It was a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking, while you're holding up the next one, I'll just talk a little bit about the attention to detail on the paint work, because here's all the steps that go into this. A lot of people probably don't realize. This is fantastic. Love the eyes. That's my favorite. That eyeball right there is fantastic. But anyway, the detail with the paintwork. First, you've got to actually sand it really, really finely. Then you've got to prime it and get a nice layer down so the paint will stick. Then you do several wash layers. Then you do detail painting. And then finally, you do a couple coats of clear over the top of it. So like there's so much work going into each one of those. It's many, many hours of painting into each one. So
yeah. And as I was telling you previously, but honestly, these absolutely exceeded my expectation, both in terms of, and not to say I had low expectations of the thing. Like I want to, like, the bar was already pretty good, but like what stands out to me was the modeling was really an excellent interpretation of the 2D art, the type of humor and not humor is not the right word, but the cartooniness, that whimsicalness was really captured in the model. And then the painter did such a nice job bringing across the personality and getting all the detail in there. And even the little things like the color of this, which was not in the art, right? This sort of purple, blue, black mix technique is awesome. The little light shining in the eyes. Again, the backside of the squid. All awesome. So
those little suction cups are great.
Yeah, no, and again, for me, I would caution on something fragile. It was great, but like for me, to me these are like incredible, like at a convention showcasing a game, whether it's an oversized thing or very playable or one of these. These are attention getters. Like people are going to walk over and pick it up and check it out. My concern here would be like, I don't know how many people I want to be like picking. I would hate to be the person that dropped it, right? Which will probably be a kid, hopefully not. But anyway, But I thought they were just stellar. So I just was so impressed. I thought the back and forth, albeit maybe not as much as you would normally do, was awesome. And to me, this gives me confidence that you guys, again, not that I wouldn't have already had confidence, but really are putting the effort in to make fantastic stuff. And it's great. In terms of, so if somebody's interested, they just go to the site, right? Which I'll link, and they dive in, right?
Yep. thegamecrafter.com/laboratory. And actually, to your point, I want to back up on one of the things that you said about taking stuff like this to conventions. In the case of if we knew up front that, like, and again, this is sort of a just between you and me project, but if this was a project with a customer that said, my whole point is to take this to a convention, we would have built it such that it would survive a convention. We can build it out of other types of materials. We can have spares of various things available in case something does happen. There's all kinds of options for conventions. And so knowing what the use case is for the thing before we start building it is also an important thing, beyond the concept art. So
yeah, these are so cool. Anyway, this was fun. I love making. Personally, I love understanding and seeing the process of making something and making something new. You have lots of opportunities with board games to do some of that, but none of it's like this. So this was so cool. So again, very cool.
Enjoyed it.
Very easy. Yeah. Well, they'll be on. I'll put a little sticky under it, so just and it'll be somewhere probably on the back shelf, and getting in display. But yeah,
videos.
Yeah. Well, get ready. I'm going to be making a game with a 3-minute timer, with a deluxe component. But no, cool. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. You can check it out. This was just a cool special one-off thing. Awesome. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.